everybody, and welcome into the First Football Podcast. Today is Sunday, December 10th, 2023. Amidst a weird Sunday of games here, some stinkers, some surprising good games, some just okay games, but overall, it's Football Sunday. I'm your host here in Green Bay, Justin Sutton, fellow co-host Mike Rosenthal.
What up, dude? Yeah, today was a rough, could have been better day. Obviously, you're going through a fantasy slump here. I actually am too. It stinks. I got one lucky break with Justin Jefferson and Justin Herbert being injured, which saved my butt. But other than that, yeah, it was a weird day. But like you said, some great games, some not so great games. But I say we just dive right into the games, and we'll talk probably a little injuries when we hit those games.
Yeah. Why don't we start right up here with the Buccaneers at the Falcons? That turned out to be a surprisingly pretty good game.
I think that's kind of what we just called it, a little low scoring, but it was a tight game. And Baker Mayfield, dude, these are the games why you root for Baker Mayfield, because man, that dude is electric. I didn't expect it to be this high scoring. Did you see that Drake London catch too in that game?
Oh yeah, that was very impressive. Very impressive.
Hands team, dude.
Yeah, almost as impressive as Rachaad White putting up over 100 yards against that fourth-ranked rushing defense.
That's your dude, man.
That was nice.
That is your dude. So we both did not take that line because we both thought the Bucks were going to win, and that did happen. And now the 6-7 Buccaneers are atop of the division with three other teams sitting at 6-7.
Yes, they are. That's quite the feat. But hey, man, like I said, I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to get it. Yeah, I think they're going to sneak in the playoff race here.
I'm with you.
Baker, Baker may drop dots. Baker may dot you up. Baker may just catch a dub.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's just Baker things. We don't understand.
I love Baker.
I do too, man. I think he's gonna I think he's gonna get a contract there. He'll be their franchise quarterback for a hot minute.
I hope so. He's got that dog in him.
Yeah, and he's serviceable, man. Like he's actually more than serviceable. Like that Atlanta defense is real. So yeah, next game here, Lions at Bears. Detroit was favored by 3 points.
Hell yeah. Let's go Bears, dude. We were both wrong. Probably like most people, because who didn't think Detroit was going to win? Goff is probably not going to get that contract that everybody was talking about.
Probably not. Not anymore. Yeah. He just, whatever reason, he just can't play outside in cold weather. I mean.
And he just loves fumbling the ball and losing the ball. And man, just when people start talking about him, it's like, Dobbs is going to get this contract. This is going to happen. And that's when he's just been, boo.
Oh, you mean Goff? Yeah.
Oh yeah, just say Dobbs. My bad.
Yeah, it's all G. He didn't do well either today.
This game got me stoked because I hope that the Bears trade him away, Justin Fields, and I want the Pittsburgh Steelers going to grab him immediately. I love Fields. The dude can throw the ball, man. He has an arm. I think he's a great quarterback, and if he was in a better system, then again, we need to find a system in Pittsburgh for anybody to be good. But
yeah, you can have Justin Fields. Go for that.
I think that he's going to be a decent quarterback if he gets in the right system. I mean, I don't know. I like Justin Fields.
Yeah, seems like a good kid. Don't think he's that great of a player.
Yeah. I mean, but you also didn't like Jordan Love, so
okay, we have a lot more tape on Fields than we do on Love. He's been playing for 3 seasons. He didn't sit for 3 seasons.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess you got to look at a Bears quarterback and give him a little bit of benefit that if he wasn't on the Bears, he may be a little better.
Benefit of the doubt of a poverty franchise. That's I get your point.
But I mean, just the guy, what he does is what we talked about with Fields a little bit, or not with Fields, with Love. He has shown those games that you want to see that give you a little bit of hope,
And he's already looked more consistent than Justin Fields. He's got a 3-game stretch of looking that good. I don't think I've seen Fields look that good for more than 2 games at a crack.
I'm saying Fields has
I get what you're saying.
There's a glimmer of hope that this dude is not like a Zach.
He has the talent there. Yeah. Can he put it together upstairs? Yeah. I get you.
I'm just reaching for anything to change. Okay.
I can tell, bro. You're over here fantasizing about Justin Fields. Like,
It's brutal. It's brutal out here.
Yeah, the cologne of desperation, my guy. Ease off. Maybe one less spray next time. Next game here. Let's go to the Colts at the Bengals. And that game, I don't know. It started out pretty good, and then it turned out to be kind of a snoozer, in my opinion. First half was great. And all of a sudden, second half, Bengals just absolutely rolled. I mean, the Colts couldn't stop shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
It was just pathetic. For whatever reason, they just straight up abandoned the run.
At some point during the day today, in between the games, the two slates, every team in the AFC North was in the playoffs again, which is crazy.
That was nutty.
I mean, out of the Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals, I mean, I think Browns could legitimately be a competition to, like, those two teams are going to be competitive. They look good with Browning. I mean, the team looks good.
Surprisingly, yeah, they do.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Colts. The Colts are either going to be progressing, like almost not totally solidifying a spot in the wild card, but they play the Steelers this Saturday, two teams that are in a wild card spot that push the Bengals out. If the Colts win, I mean,
I think the Colts will actually be motivated for this next game against the Steelers now that they're like, oh man, this is real. It's like I thought they would actually have some motivation to play today, and they just played like a college team. It was bad.
Yeah, I was kind of red zone watching it, but I was only able to watch like the kind of second half. So when you're saying it fizzled out, I really didn't get to watch the action-packed beginning where, you know, the first half was pretty nice, but the second half was pretty dreary. It was just all Bengals, but looks like, I mean, Gardner Minshew
for me because I did not take the line. I thought the Colts would win that game. So
yeah, I did. I thought the Bengals could win it at home, but barely. But they convincingly won it at home. Gardner Minshew throwing 39 times. I mean, why does Zach Moss only have 13 carries for 28 yards? What are we doing here?
I think that's what every Zach Moss fantasy owner wants to know today too.
They can run the ball.
Shane Steichen's
commit to running the ball.
They can, yes, when they run the ball, it runs so well. But for whatever reason, when they don't want to like fully commit to the run, the scheme just looks like broken, like it doesn't have an identity.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous and so frustrating.
So many teams do that when they're chasing, you know.
I think that's exactly what they're doing. They were chasing. They got desperate too early, and it's like, dude, you had plenty of time in the game, and they just got off the run when they definitely were running the ball, like not super effectively, but dude, Zach Moss is a wear down back. He needs to
beat him up,
like
beat him up,
Henry.
beat him
yeah,
up,
beat him up, beat him up, beat him up, and all of a sudden, late in the game, defense cracks. But
yeah,
anyways.
I mean, they're putting themselves. I mean, like what I don't remember how many teams did I say? What, 6 or 7 teams in the AFC, or 7 and 6? So it's coming down to the end here for these teams, man.
Yeah,
it's win or go home.
The Colts gave me a nice reality check here, man. They're not sniffing a playoff spot with a backup quarterback. I don't know what crack I was smoking, but I need to put the pipe down, thinking that they could actually get in the playoffs. I think they might be fighting for a spot, but I'd be a little surprised if they actually got in.
I mean, they play the Steelers next week. They can win that game, no doubt. Anybody can beat the Steelers, especially if TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith aren't playing. Both out with concussions.
Then most definitely, yes.
But then they play the Falcons. Could be I mean, they don't. The Colts have a tough in to the playoffs.
They really do.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Speaking of a game of a team who I think will be in the playoffs, the
Brownies.
The Brownies.
Joe Flacco.
I thought they weren't going to be in. Now I think they will be in. Joe Flacco, man, he's the real deal.
You can't deny what this guy's doing, man. Holy crap! They announced today that he's going to be the starter.
Good.
Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, the head coach Stefanski announced that Joey Flacco is our starting quarterback for the remainder of the year.
Good. That's what they should do.
I think they fired Deshaun Watson. They're just going to keep Flacco. They don't.
That'd be funny, man. Yeah, the Jags rolled into Cleveland with Cleveland as a 3-point favorite, and we all saw why they were a 3-point favorite. That game was not really close after like the second quarter. Jags got some garbage points and made it a game somehow late. But
even late, it wasn't.
Yeah, Cleveland pretty much controlled that whole game. I'd venture to even say they dominated that game.
Their defense was phenomenal,
stout,
and their offense capitalized. And Trevor Lawrence, man, throwing the ball 50 freaking times, 3 picks. I mean, I guess you got to kind of feel for them missing some of their star receivers. That really sucks, and your quarterback being injured. But I mean, the Jags are
They're
going to make the
missing just
playoffs.
Christian Kirk, man. They still had Calvin Ridley. They still had Ingram. They still had Zay
Yeah.
Jones. Like I guess I
True.
look
I
at it
thought
like
Jones was on the injury report like throughout the week. I don't know if he's 100%, but
he looked pretty solid out there. I'll say that.
I mean, both these teams are going to make the playoffs, and I think the Browns have a better chance to do something with that.
I would agree, man. Yeah, I think that passing defense for the Jags is going to be the death of them.
Yeah.
And their inconsistencies on offense, because like, man,
Trevor
they can
Lawrence.
look really good at times, and then they can just look absolutely terrible at times. It's so inconsistent. I just
And
don't get it.
Etienne's been MIA since the first half of the season.
Thank God he got that touchdown. I don't know, man. He's like running back 3 on the season and half-point PPR heading into this week, so that was a little shocking to see that, honestly. But
I mean, the beginning half of the season, he was scoring like he had a stretch there, 3 games in a row where he got 2 touchdowns each game.
yeah, that's not going to hold up, man.
No, that padded the stats to keep him where he is right now. But in the most recent games, I mean, this game 35 yards, 1 touchdown. Last game 45 yards, 1 touchdown. And then before that, 56 yards, 52 yards, 35 yards, no touchdowns.
What do you do in the receiving game, though?
Um,
Because I know he catches the ball a lot.
no touchdowns in the receiving games of all those that I mentioned.
Nice. Wow, that's
But I mean, he's what the most he ever got in all those was 37 yards.
oh
So
wow. Yeah, that's definitely not the greatest, but
yeah, they're regressing, not using him. It's kind of like the Bijan thing. Give the ball to that guy, he makes plays happen.
another player who doesn't seem to be regressing, but the offense seems to be regressing is Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah,
I think the Panthers offense as a whole looked terrible today against the Saints down in New Orleans with the Saints as a 6-point favorite. But Bryce Young showed some nice flashes, man. Like it's just a damn shame that he's so short. If he could actually just physically see over the line, you can tell, man. It clicks for him upstairs. He's got an
smart.
underrated arm. Yeah, he's way more mobile than you would think. It's just a shame that he's a little too small.
Yeah, I took the Saints to win that one. It was -6. You did not. The game kind of played out how I thought it would. The Saints just beat up on them. I mean,
I couldn't believe Carolina couldn't capitalize on any of their opportunities in the red zone, really.
You know, a score like this happens, and Derek Carr has a stat line of 119 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
That's how you know it was an odd, ugly game. Yeah, divisional matchup.
But it's like Derek Carr.
Dude,
they lose this game 6-28 when Derek Carr throws for 350 yards.
All right, one thing I got to say here, Derek Carr is not right. I don't know if he is broken. I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know if it's the injuries. I don't know if it's all three. All I know is you got to throw Jameis Winston in there. I'm so sick and tired of watching Derek Carr just like look like a scrambling penguin back there. Like he's not mobile. He's trying to be mobile. He's just trying to stay upright while dudes are hanging on to him and he's making terrible decisions, terrible throws. It's just like
be a pocket passer.
It's a crime to the team. Like, I mean, if you're gonna at some point, it's like if you're not mobile enough to play, why you're only hindering the team? Put Jameis in there, dude. Like, I just don't.
I'm with you.
It's so
especially in a game like
man.
that against this team. Why are we begging to get Derek Carr back in after he's just skating by the injury report?
Yes.
You have a quarterback that's won as your backup, a backup that a lot of people would like to have.
He's a top
put him in
draft pick. Yeah.
Yeah, put him in, man. Like, especially if with Derek Carr just being questionable. Again, this is the game where you want to put him in.
I would agree with that statement.
Next game, big surprise to all of us. What was that?
So they said, yeah, let's move on from that stinker.
To not a stinker, which usually is with the Jets playing. Jets won 30-6. They put up 30 points in the second half of the game.
Shockingly.
Zach Wilson, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, go figure. The 1 week that you and I both don't take the Jets win.
Dude, they put CJ Stroud in a blender.
Well, what was messed up is I saw like right before kickoff, the line moved all the way up to Houston -6. And I'm like, what? That's like, I wouldn't have taken that, you know.
Agreed.
But,
yeah.
You know, even I took it at 3.5, but I wouldn't have taken it at 6. But nonetheless, I mean, dude, that Jets defense showed up and balled out like I thought it would. They had a lot of pressure for CJ, just like I thought they would.
And then really
the loss of Tank Dell was really, really, really noticeable.
Well, and Nico Collins being out with the calf injury, then CJ Stroud being out with the concussion.
Yeah.
This
Once
once
CJ
this
went out, it was over.
the Texans had a lot of hope coming into this, and man, now it's kind of like they're kind of back to where they were, where I could see them right around 500 at the end of the season, not making the playoffs, but they have a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff to build on.
I would agree. Yeah. Hopefully CJ's okay, man. That looked like a pretty scary hit, but
Yeah,
I mean, hey, man, defenders just trying to do their job. It's hard. It's hard to be a defender in 2023, man. I do not envy those people.
agreed.
Well, let's move on to another game here that was absolutely phenomenal and
I called it.
shockingly
I
that
called this
you
game being
did.
great.
You did. You said this was going to be one hell of a game. You said you think the Rams and Sean McVay got something for Baltimore, and Baltimore was favored by 7.5, and they did not win by 7.5. Although they
Who
did get the dub.
Puka Nakua
He's
is
real, dude. He is
he's
so
real, but I'm
legit.
scared he's gonna get. He takes such hard falls and hits. This dude's gonna have a big injury coming up, man. He throws
Why
his
would you put that
body.
out there?
I'm
Let's hope
worried
not,
for him
man.
to hear it. So maybe you play a little bit more gingerly. But I mean, that guy is a stud. Cooper Cup is not done. He is a stud. Matthew Stafford's a stud.
Mike, you can't love the dog in Baker Mayfield and hate the dog in Puka Nakua. It's just
I'm
not possible, dude. He's just a dog, dude. Like
yeah,
you got
he's
you live
so
with the dog, you die with the dog.
I love watching that guy. He is so awesome, man. This game was awesome. Uh yeah, two quarterbacks almost right around 3 touchdowns each. Stafford with 294, Lamar with 316. I mean, the game was awesome. It stinks. I mean, it actually, the way it ended was kind of good. I mean, obviously a touchdown return, a punt return for a touchdown, which
That was
is pretty
wild, dude.
awesome.
Like honestly, it was crazy. I was watching it at some buddy's house, and it's like, you know, they punted the ball, and I'm sitting here just thinking, gosh, what a Baltimore way it would be to end it. They just ran this back. And then all of a sudden he gets real close to the sideline, and I'm like, man,
He
that kind of sucks.
squeaked
And I'm
out.
like, well, if he can squeak out of there, and sure as shit, he squeaks out, and I'm like, wow, man, that was an electric ending.
Yeah,
It
great
was a
game.
fantastic
Both
game.
teams over 400 total yards. Only one turnover on the Ravens side. I mean, pretty even game. Both the Rams don't play like they have a 6-7 record, and
Yeah,
if they start, it's it's a little late to get hot, especially with teams like the Packers and stuff playing really well right now. But
yeah,
if the Rams get into the playoffs, you don't want to play the Rams.
agreed, agreed. Let's move on to the
And
next game here and spend as little time as possible on it. Minnesota at the Raiders. Minnesota was favored by 3. I did not take that thinking the Raiders would win, and you took that thinking the Vikings would cover the line. And God, I mean, it was 0-0 all the way until
yeah,
about the 2-minute warning. And then
unfortunately, it was a
Minnesota,
-3 and a push, so I
neither of
didn't.
us took the L there. So
Yeah,
we'll just take it for what it is.
the
The
only
game was
notable thing
terrible.
is Justin Jefferson. Let's just hope he's okay, man. He got
Yeah.
clocked.
And what's weird is he got clocked in like the lower back area, borderline in the side of the ribs, and it's like they listed it as a chest injury. I just thought that was so odd.
That may get edited. I mean, he went to the hospital. I know that. I
Yeah.
watched a guy on Twitter, a doctor who does the sports stuff. I've mentioned him before. Um, Possible like fractured rib, which would be brutal, or a rib puncture. It could have punctured his lung. Because if you saw him on the sideline after that hit, man, he was like on his knees, like like
Yeah.
gasping.
He
Which I
couldn't
mean, he
breathe.
obviously got the wind knocked out of him for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
But yeah, next game.
Seahawks at Niners. Man, I wish this line would have stayed at 10.5 because we both would have been right, but they pushed it 12.
Yeah,
I
I mean
mean,
that
49ers dominated pretty much start to finish. I was shocked at how good Drew Lock looked, I'll say that.
dude. He had some. He's athletic, man.
Pete
Holy
Carroll
crap!
could coach.
I mean, also Drew Lock is an athletic quarterback and can throw the ball.
Drew
They
Lock
only
was
got
looked
16
at as a
points.
complete and utter bust until he went to Seattle right now. Now he's gonna have everybody sitting here saying, "Hey, not a bad showing." And like I just attribute that to like him going to the quarterback camp, that is AKA Pete Carroll. Like I think Pete Carroll's actually a little underrated with quarterbacks than the rep that he does
Wait,
have as being a defensive coach.
I mean,
Because look what he did with Russ for all those years. And now all of a sudden he leaves Russ and Russ leaves him and it takes another Hall of Fame caliber coach to get Russ back to looking like Russ.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe Pete Carroll.
Sean Payton is a phenomenal offensive play caller too.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's what I'm saying. I think it's crazy that, like, dude, you usually think defensive coach. Nah, not a quarterback guru. Maybe Pete Carroll is a quarterback guru, man.
Maybe. I mean, the one thing, DK Metcalf, man, calm down. Like, holy crap. That dude.
Come on, man. You should have just flipped him the bird or cussed him out in sign language. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Or like grab his helmet, like, or just grab him, talk a little shit and walk away. Like, don't grab his helmet. Like, what do you just, man, that dude's a hothead, obviously. But I mean, when you're an alpha like that,
kind of gotta be a little bit. You gotta have somewhat of an ego complex.
But yeah, Christian McCaffrey, 16 carries, 145 yards.
Beast. I mean, he got that touchdown robbed from him. I couldn't believe that first play of the game all the way down to the 3, and then they give it to someone else. But
I'm really glad that I had to drop Debo 1 week and somebody picked him up in our league.
Yeah.
That hurts. That the 49ers are, I'm surprised that it was only 28-16. That game felt like it should have been way more of a throttling.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. That game felt like it was way more domination than that. But
do you think that the Seahawks stay with Drew Lock? Because I mean, he looks just as good as Geno Smith.
Nah, I don't think they do.
I mean, Geno Smith's old. How old's Drew Lock? You know,
Geno Smith's old enough to have experience. He's not too old to play. But let's move to the next game here. Let's go with Broncos at Chargers. Chargers were favored by 2.5, and Denver won just like we thought they would.
Yep. Yeah, we both picked the Broncos to win and keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yep.
That one Sutton's catch.
Dude, that was next level. I couldn't believe that. I could not believe that. Yeah, Broncos look pretty solid again, divisional opponents. So, nobody knows any tricks, but Justin Herbert got a fractured finger in his throwing hand. So we'll see if he even plays the rest of the season, man. I mean, that team is just a dumpster fire right now. The coach is gone after the year. I think everybody knows it. And
I actually had a tweet thing saved here from Ian Rappaport. He does have a fractured right index finger, which is a strong indication that his season could be over. Eckler had a nice showing for me. I'm glad I didn't drop him.
Yeah, bounce back game.
Them running 3 running backs, and somehow he comes out still with some nice fantasy points. But yeah, that Chargers team, they need a new coach and they need a whole new vibe in that building.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
And it kind of stinks when you got, I mean, their window's kind of closed here with Keenan Allen being old, Eckler being old.
They need to start over at the skill position now with Justin Herbert.
Luckily, they have that
contract.
And luckily, they have that. That piece is very important.
Yeah, the only good thing is they'll get off the Keenan Allen contract and hopefully the Mike Williams contract, and then all their skill position will be cheap instead of the quarterback being cheap. So
yeah,
well, let's move on to the best game of the 3:30 window, and that is Bills at Chiefs. KC favored by 1 point, and man, we both did not take that line. I thought the Bills were going to win. I can't remember. Did you say the Chiefs were going to win, but it would just be like, 1 point or a push? So that's why you went under, or what?
My notes said I think the Bills will pull out a desperation win in Arrowhead.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. I thought
that's how you know I don't read your notes, bro.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. Mahomes needs to chill out, quit being a whiny baby at the end of the game. Your dude was lined up in the neutral zone. And that play was amazing by Travis Kelce, being tragic. That heady.
Tragic that they had a neutral zone infraction there, man. That's pretty rough.
But, I mean, there's the Buffalo Bills, 7-6 with a bunch of other AFC teams. I want to see the Bills make a push and take one of those wild card spots. I don't care if it's sacrifice my Steelers. I don't care. I want to see Josh Allen in the playoffs.
Yep. 2 weeks ago, I called this, man. Bills were going to win this game. They're going to go on a run. I think they're going to win out, dude. I think there's a very good possibility now that if Kansas City has to play them in the playoffs, it's going to be in Buffalo.
What is it? They got Cowboys next, which is going to be
but that's in Buffalo. I think Dallas gets a little exposed after this big high emotional win. Like I think they're going to get over the Eagles after that big win. They're going to come down to earth, and Josh Allen's going to be sitting there waiting with a paddle,
giving it to Diggs.
Yes, hopefully. Oh my God. Dude, I was in a good mood, man. Why you gotta do that to me? All
It
right.
hurts me too. I'm in the same boat. I have Diggs who's been laying these stinkers. They don't like to
Uh,
throw the ball downfield anymore, apparently.
ever
Not to Gabe
since,
Davis,
yeah,
who destroys the Chiefs, and not to Stephon Diggs, who is an alpha WR1.
ever since
Like
that they went to this new offensive scheme, man, it's like Diggs just
dumb
doesn't get the
passes, dumb
ball for what. Yeah,
passes.
everything is so short, quick game. Like, yeah, cool. What happens when you get into a shootout and you need to score more than 24 points?
And then
Like,
you're not used to doing that, and you're all
exactly.
off timing. It's like Diggs had a couple of those drops when they didn't give him the ball for like a quarter and a half.
Yeah,
Like
like
he's out of rhythm.
it's the wide receiver equivalent of like when they look at a quarterback, like, well, we've done nothing all game. Save us. We need like incredible play from you for a quarter straight now.
I like
It's
James
like
Cook in that game. I just looked. He only had 58 yards. I thought he was running the ball really, really well. I guess it was only
yeah,
10 carries for 58 yards. So
he
that's
looked
a
very good.
yeah. That guy's a good running back. I mean, he had
Surprised
five
he held on to the
receptions for
ball this week.
83. Five receptions for 83 yards though, which is nice.
Oh
But
yeah. But with that
um,
being said, the Eagles and Cowboys game has just kicked off a little bit ago here. We are
oh
looking
yeah.
to both go watch that. So,
Well, we got to talk about Monday Night Football.
do we have to?
Yeah, we
There's
do.
really
You're gonna
only
be
one
okay.
game, if you couldn't tell.
Hey, I'm here with the Packers gear today. Packers are Packers at Giants. Is let me double check that
Green
line.
Bay -6.5 is what we have currently
Minus
listed here.
6 now.
Now it's -6.
Still going to take that line.
You were going to take that line. I will also take that line. I think the defense shows up big. I think the offense shows up nicely. And other than that, I look for this to be a good team win from the Packers. I don't know if we're going to dominate one side of the ball or the other. I just think it's going to be a total team win. We're going to capitalize on the Giants' mistakes and their lack of talent. And I think this is a trap game, dude. Packers better not be sleeping on these people, man. The
Yeah,
Giants the G-men are legit. Like they got
Barkley can
talent.
tear it up.
Brian Daboll's a legit coach, so we better not be sleeping on them. If we come out flat and we're sleeping on them, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants upset us. But
I mean, they beat the Commanders 31-19. They put up 31 points. So yeah, they
exactly.
hopefully they're not sleeping on them. I expect still a pretty convincing, maybe 2-possession win by the Pack here. Just
Yeah, I think like 10 points.
The Pack's play a good team game. Don't turn the ball over. Keep it simple. And is Jones playing? I know Jair's out.
I heard Jair's out. I haven't heard anything else on Aaron Jones. That's all I know.
Regardless, he's probably not really getting very many touches. Dylan's going to get all that.
Probably, but
I'm excited for that game.
yeah, I'm not excited for the other game, which is
Yeah.
Titans at Dolphins. Miami's favored by 13
and a half.
and a half now.
Yeah, I'm still going to take that.
Yeah, I'm going to take that just for the simple fact of you're already kicking my ass this week's in picks. I'm still rolling with the Cowboys, and if we go down, we go down together with Miami. So, I mean, yeah, Tennessee's pass defense is absolutely trash. I do expect Miami to do what they want in the passing game and pretty much offensively as a whole. I mean, the only exception being is if the Titans can actually run the ball down their throat and keep that offense for Miami on the bench, Titans got a shot. Other than that Miami domination.
Is it it's in Miami too.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football in Miami. Woo!
Stars are going to come out. The stars are going to shine.
I ain't going to watch it because I'm going to be dialed into the Packer game, but
yeah, right. Cheetah going to have a big game, but yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to go watch the Sunday night game. I'm sure everybody else is too. We'll look forward to watching or listening on my end, listening to the Monday night games.
Yeah.
Go Pack, go, baby. Hope everybody has a great week this week. And give us a like, give us a subscribe, and please turn on those notifications. Don't miss an episode. Be a friend. Tell a friend about the show if you enjoy it. And for all of us, all of you that are supporting us here at T1FP, we appreciate it. Catch everybody later.